to the solution of the Barbarous Bloodletting Baker. Not that title made it past Alice. Anyway, it is, however, of course, episode 5 of the Unreliable Narrator. And it's now time for the solution. But of course, first of all, we have to hear the theories of our regular murderers. There wasn't many, as we learned last time, but let's see what they've managed to cobble together in the few minutes that have passed in our lives since we recorded the last one. We'll go in reverse order, because I feel some people are closer to it than others. And Laid-Back Joe doesn't have quite as solid a theory, so we'll start with Joe. Who do you think killed Des Thirdspoon?
I can only, now that, it hasn't just been like since I've seen the original, I think I'm going to stick to my guns, to what I said about, I think it was something to do with that note. And I think, if I'm correct, the words spelled out in the oven.
Okay, interesting.
All the first letters of the note spelled in the oven. So right. I'm going to say it was him. I have no idea why, but if I remember correctly, I think that his name was on the suicide letter. So I don't know if it was a final, I don't know, but that's suspicious to me. So I'm going to say in the oven, I think.
Lovely theory. We'll then go to Lex.
Okay, I concur with Joe. The letters I need donuts, yow, or whatever it is, or Viennetta, spelled out in the oven. But I think he was being framed by another contestant who was jealous of him. I'm going to guess Sue, because not much was said about Kath. And I think it's something to do with the fact that Indy didn't read it. He just spoke to people. So I think he was stealing Sue's ideas because she just wrote them down on paper, which was easily thieved. And something like he got his micro meatballs or whatever.
Micro muffins.
That's the one. Chastised. And therefore something. That gives him a good fake motive. And yeah, she writes everything on paper, which is relevant because the note was on paper. It wasn't like an iPad was stuck down his throat.
Okay. Short version, Sue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Now to Seb.
My short version is Sue as well. Okay. I agree that Indie Oven is a frame job because she is technologically inept and therefore neatly typed, it said, note out. I also think that she thought the electric oven was gas, like hers. And so she actually tried to simulate a suicide by having the head stuffed in. Why? I'm not so sure about. I think the throat slit in the walnut is... the walnut is her being very careful to throw suspicion off her by saying, oh, it couldn't be me because I'm allergic. Allergic? That's the word.
Okay. Polly.
It almost like to the word for word exactly what Seb said, because the note spelled out in the oven. I don't believe that Indy did it, even though obviously like there was a rivalry between him and Dessert Spoon.
Dessert.
And I think that because the note was typed up, and like you said, she was a technophobe, so she would use a typewriter, and putting the walnut in his throat, plus the fact that it was an electric oven, just kind of points to her, because I think she didn't feel like she should be there because she was kind of like everyone else in her kind of round was crap, so she ended up getting like slotted in, and no one really respected her. So I think that was the reason.
She murdered for respect.
Yeah.
Excellent theory.
That's the way to get it. Yeah, murder.
And finally, Alice. Who do we think it was?
Yeah, pretty much that. I think she thought that it was a gas oven like hers. We've said about the typing up. She used the criticism that India got the day before. It was like to cover her motive. But obviously we heard that Indy wasn't very clever. So I don't think it would have occurred to him to like put a little message with his own name in it like that. Okay. So I think he was framed. I like Lex's idea about him stealing her recipes because he didn't use them, but that didn't occur to me, so I can't claim.
Fair enough. Excellent. So 5 excellent theories. Just to double check, Joe's gone for Indy.
Mm.
Everyone else has gone for Sue.
I mean, if
It was Victoria.
if it turns out that it was Indy and he is secretly clever and just put his name in the thing because he's secretly clever, and we've double guessed ourselves just because we know you, I am going to be very, very annoyed.
I went backwards and forwards between Sue and Indy.
Yeah. I mean, that probably means it's Kay because no one has talked about her, and there's some weird clue that we've all missed. Yeah.
Right, well, the time has
Told
come.
you, Michael.
What is it? Come on, tell us. Put us in misery.
The time has come to reveal the killer of Des Zertspoon in the barbarous case of the bloodletting butcher. And the killer was none other than... Cake Mix!
Oh, you're kidding me! Nothing is said about her!
Screw you! Screw you, Michael.
All the clues were there.
They were.
No, they weren't.
Fucking were. But
No, they weren't.
They were. Let me explain. First of all, yes, it was clearly not suicide. Never in a million years was it suicide. The suicide note made no sense. I needed donuts. You offered Viennetta, expiring now. What you did all notice was that spelled out in the oven. But why would a murderer kill and then leave their own name unless they had a point to prove? Especially when you are as dim as Indy. I mean, and if you actually use a bit of, you have to use some logical and deductive thinking in this one, because why wouldn't he ever read recipes when he's described as so dumb? Why does he make them up off the fly?
Is he blind?
He's not blind.
He can't read.
He certainly can't read. So there is absolutely no way that he produced that. He couldn't read, so we know it wasn't him, because there's no way he would have written that. And the fact that he never uses recipes, yet a recipe for blood pudding when the man had been bled left on his thing, that's incredibly suspicious. It's almost like someone's trying to make it look like it's him, but specifically him and not anyone else, because there was walnut cake in the open wound, which one of the people was allergic to, but also a severe technophobe. You all pointed out the note was neatly typed. What you didn't get was the next word typed and printed. It was typed and printed. It was done on a computer. So certainly not a thing a confirmed technophobe would do. So who does that leave? That leaves Cake Mix, the person who said she would kill to win the competition, whatever the cost. Sue was useless and was a clear last place. Indy was the one who was going to win, so therefore what she had to do was kill in order to get him out of the competition. She was framing him as the obvious suspect he was the only one that could have done it according to all the things she put in. She'd ruled out all the other suspects. It could only be him, so that he would be taken out of the competition. Even though the competition would end, she would then be the best because she was the only one left.
I mean, logically, she killed off the judge who could crown her.
No, absolutely not. She wanted to be the best. She eliminated the other competition, not by killing them, because then everyone would have thought they were the best and they tragically died. She couldn't kill him. She had to kill someone else and blame him. It was absolutely a frame job. And you all were so close. You just went for the wrong individual. So almost points to everyone, because you did see through the little...
Yeah, we missed the printed bit.
But you all missed the key clue, which was that it absolutely couldn't have been either of the other suspects. Therefore, it could only be one. So...
We all feel a little bit shamed after down these days, don't we?
I think that because there wasn't as much information given about Cake Mix, that's what maybe we did, because we didn't go down that route.
I totally because there was so little information about her. I was like, there are no clues.
Yeah.
Apart from what she said.
But now that you said it, it was about ruling everything else out.
Because all the others have just been about finding the key sentence or the key word. I wanted to change this one up, that this one, no, you actually have to, because as soon as I knew that there was going to be a suicide note, I thought everyone's going to, and especially when Alice remembered it word for word, everyone's going to go, well, obviously it's in it, so therefore it couldn't be him. So it was, no, you've got to knock out all the other possibilities and just have
well played, you.
So
I'm glad I did call a double bluff that we've all got it wrong because of this, which I shall take as a smidgen, tiny amount of pride as I crawl back to.
I've like 2
bed.
weeks we've done where the majority of us have not got it.
I'd just like to point out. I've just checked back on my messages. I originally said cake mix to you, Mike, didn't I?
I think you did actually.
I said I'll go for cake mix, as she was a bit quiet on the motive side. Not sure I got the name right. So there you go.
Yep.
Extra brownie points.
Well done,
Brownie points
Paulie.
for Mark.
With absolutely no motive and no reason for doing it, I got her right.
I feel better now for having gone so backwards and forwards between the two because it was written.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The point was, it was written that theoretically you could associate all of them, but then you had to logically think about it. You had to actually deduce. Well, no, it couldn't be them because, and it couldn't be them because. Therefore,
Had to be cake mix.
Been really frustrated all week, but it turns out you did it on purpose. So
Yeah.
it wasn't just me being.
No, it's just him being.
so look at these happy faces, having heard the solution. I hope you at home managed to solve it. I'm sure you did. You always do better than this lot.
Yep.
And join us again next week for another brand new mystery, which may or may not be infinitely harder, or with a really weird accent, or just possibly even as of next week, we might be adding a guest.
Ooh,
So
exciting
the-
times.
the chain will be longer.
There's so much more to go wrong.
And there will be an extra person who isn't used to all this nonsense to screw it all up for the rest of you. So look forward to that. It might be next week, or it might be the week after. Either way, people at home, you will have a new unreliable narrator to watch and enjoy, and to mock these unfortunate people who suffer week after week purely for your entertainment and mainly for mine. So do join us again, and in the meantime, bye bye.